Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about the short story called Some Fortunate Future Day. So in this presentation, I will analyze the story and the elements of the story and the main characters and that. So first start with analyze the story. So for the setting part, the story takes place in the wartime. Rose's family lives in a small town. That period was surrounded in war. The story mentions that every day an airship flies and intact people die. So in this story, I list three conflicts. The first contradiction in the story is that Rose offers to go to the capital with Jonah and leaves her daughter Grundy. But Grundy doesn't think Rose should abandon them for a street place. But Rose is bent on pursuing her love. The second contradiction is that Rose expresses his love to Jonah, but is rejected by Jonah. There are many objections to their love, which makes Rose very sad and lost. Rose and her heart was hard a dragon. He wanted Jonah's love in her heart, but she couldn't, so she needs to hide her inner loose. Rose's love for Jonah is unreasonable because Jonah already has the finances. So even if Rose loves Jonah, their love isn't right. And I think the theme of this story is love, because the story surrounds the Rose and Jonah's life. Okay, let's move on the brief summary. So this story takes place in the countryside where a girl named Rose lived with her two daughters, Ellen and Claudia. Rose's father made her those rabbits in order to take off Rose. Well, he wanted to go to war, but his father never came back for 6 months. Some robots were broken. The cook could only make soups no matter what Rose put in, and the garden's robots only dropped up the flowers instead of the weeds. As Rose was nabbed for her life, Jonah, a young man, airship pilot, showed up in the surprising way at Rose's garden. Jonah was being shot and flew off his aircraft and luckily landed in front of Rose's door in order to get help from Rose. Rose falls in love with Jonah and imagines one day they are going to get married and Jonah will take her to the capital where she has been decided going to. Sadly, Rose misunderstood Jonah's heart. Everything he does is just to persuade that Rose did to him. He never fall in love with Rose, in other words. At the same time, when Rose and Jonah sit together for their last meal, Jonah mentioned that he got engaged, and his fiancée named Lily. Rose was heartbroken, so when Jonah walked out for her house in the morning, she turned on the time machine that her father left to her, wishing to go back to the time when she and Jonah met the first time. Eventually, she did it, and she saw Jonah appear again with blood in her garden. So let's start with the description of the character. I choose Rose to discuss. In my opinion, firstly, Rose is a selfish and native girl as I read the story. She never treated Ella and Claudia as her friends. Instead, she thinks they are her daughters. She can get rid with them anytime she wants to. Secondly, when Jonah mentions that he got engaged, Rose turned on the time machine instead of letting her go. This action shows that he never cares about other people's feelings. All she cares about is her own happiness. She doesn't care about the lady's feelings. Let's move on the plots. So in the plot parts, I divided into the 5 parts. The first is expression. The story takes place in the countryside far away from the capital at the time of the war. The main characters are Rose and Jonah. The story begins when Rose essentially finds Jonah in her garden. Race action. The first is Rose's father went to the war and left her some robots to take care of her. The robots were broken, so Rose lost love for them. Rose somehow kills the rabbit that her father bought for her, and her father showed her. And the fourth is a time machine. The fifth is Rose surprisingly found an injured soldier in her garden. That's Jonah. And Rose took care of the Jonah and wished to marry him at the capital. The climax is Rose makes Jonah a decision first in order to make him love her more, but Jonah tells Rose that he got a feelings back at home. So the feeling action is Rose was sad, but she understood Jonah will go no matter how she reacts. So the resolution of this is Rose studies the time machine that her father made for her, wish to make Jonah again and make him love her. And I found the quote for this. So I think the quote is time cannot change someone's heart, because even though Rose can start the time machine, but Jonah never can fall in love with her because he already engaged. So time can't change something. So let's move on the last part, the connection with the story and with my life. So the theme of the story is love, but I have not actually experienced, but I have experienced the doors loyalty to the owner. They are the master's friends and the master's family member. I used to have the very cute cat. When I'm bored, will play with me. I will tell it about my travels, even if it cannot respond to me with the words, but it will nod me. This experience is the same as love that Gradient and the other doors have for Rose. This kind of love is warm but also touch me deeply. So that's my opinion. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching.